If it's been a long and tiring day at work and now you're looking for something quick and easy to make, we have the perfect meal. It's a spicy chicken and pasta dish served with roasted vegetables. It merely takes 30 minutes. So enjoy cooking, and if you're new to our channel, please don't forget to subscribe. So we're going to start with our chicken today. For the pasta, all you need to do is add a thin layer of oil in your pan. You can use a saucepan, you can use a pot, whichever you prefer. What I normally do add is a bit of cumin, the whole one, to the bottom of my pot. I love cooking it. It gives a nice taste and spice to the food. Once you've heated the oil slightly on a low to medium heat, on my stove it's number 6, I then chop a half an onion fine. I hate long grains of onion in my food. And then we let that cook until golden brown. While I'm busy letting the onions cook, we are going to spice our chicken cubes that are already washed, so that before we add into our onions. Okay, so to spice up the chicken, I use 1 teaspoon of fine red chili. Sometimes you can put a little extra. We enjoy the spiciness and hotness. Then I add 1 teaspoon of salt. What is very tasty to all my food and my ingredients is the coriander. It's dried coriander. And then we add 1 teaspoon of cumin, dried cumin. And then to give a little bit more of heat, we use a ginger garlic spice. And I put 1 and just a bit of a 1/4 teaspoon to my chicken to marinate it. We then mix all the ingredients together. Okay, if you want to use your hands, you can do that. I sometimes do. It's a bit messy, but it's fine. Kind of mix that all together so that all your chicken pieces are coated into your spicing. You can hear that onions are sizzling, so we're going to just keep an eye on our onions for them to get golden brown. So like I said, we let our onions quickly saute a little bit and get brown. Depending on you, I like them just golden brown, not dark brown. And just stir it in the pot a little bit so that all of them get a nice even color, and you don't sit with some being brown and some being still very white. Okay, so you can see the onions are now browning. They're on a golden brown, and some will get slightly darker. You can smell the aroma of onion and cumin, which is just totally divine. Okay, so now that's ready for me. What we're going to do is add our cube chicken that's already been marinated and spiced up into the onion. Very important is to take it and stir it together and combine. And just turn them over. As you know, chicken cubes cook quickly. So just give it a quick stir around. And you then can cook this on for, I always use time because I can't work without time. So we then add it for about 10-15 minutes. I put mine normally about 15 minutes on a lower heat so that it cooks nicely. And we leave it and close the lid to simmer for a while. You can just add a little bit of water just to give that little bit of steam into your pot, and you then leave it to cook for 15 minutes. Okay, so while the chicken is still cooking, occasionally you need to just check on it. So stir it a little bit. You will see water slightly. Remember, your chicken has a bit of water in there, so that needs to cook down. Just stir it, just make sure it's not sticking or burning, and then just close your lid. You will just have to continue to let that cook out for another about 5 minutes, and then we are ready to add our chopped tomatoes. Okay, so it cooked for 15 minutes. You can see all the water is now being evaporated, and we are ready to add tomatoes. You can choose to grate your tomatoes. I've put 1.5 tomatoes here. They were quite big. If they're smaller, you need to add 2 tomatoes. You can cube them, you can grate them, you can add them to a blender to make it more fine. Once you've added the tomatoes, you then need to just stir that in so that all the tomatoes are combined within your cubes. And you're going to leave that now just for about 10 to 15 minutes again, occasionally checking the pot to make sure that it's not burning on your medium heat. Okay, so we're almost done with our tomatoes being cooked into the chicken. As you can see, you just need a bit of gravy, so you can always add a little bit of water if you want to have more gravy into your chicken and make it a little bit saucier. You can also add cream. I'm not one of those for a very rich creamy taste, but there are lots of chefs and cooks that would add a bit of cream to it to give richness. You can add more tomato if you want to. It's all depending on yourself. To finish it off, I've chopped a little bit of fresh coriander. I love the taste of coriander on our food, and you can just top that up. It's got the last 2 minutes, and I'm going to leave it there to cook for the last 2 minutes, and my chicken is done. While this is now resting, we're going to then boil our water in a kettle to get the pasta started. I always boil my water before that, so it doesn't take that long to cook, because I just need it to boil for 10 minutes. So once your pasta is made, you're going to empty the pasta into a dish. You can use any of your big dishes. So what I normally do is empty it into one of my casserole dishes, and thereafter we're going to top the pasta up with the chicken that we made. Remember, this cube chicken can be used for anything. If you've got extra left, you can always portion it and put it into the freezer and use it for anything else. You can always place it as a topping on your pizzas. So that's what I usually do to make it easier for me in the week when I'm a bit late. And the kids really enjoy those type of foods. Okay, so we place it on the top. You can top your pasta with the chicken up with a bit of cheese if you want to. Some days I do. And chopped peppers and tomato if you want to add a bit more garnish. Warm it into the microwave for the cheese to melt, and you've got your pasta dish ready. So there you go, your casserole dish filled with pasta and chicken.